Welcome to the Reviews Without Remorse podcast with Joe, Kyle, and Ray. Be warned, the discussions in this podcast will contain detailed spoilers. Enter at your own risk and enjoy the show. Now, I'm going to show you something that is totally going to blow your rocks off. It's absolutely orgasmic and the most thing I am proud of. It's the most up-to-date, the ultimate survival tool of today. The dawn of a new generation of cinematic debauchery. The Beverly Hills Cop 3000 is America's premier cinematic dumpster fire. The Beverly Hills Cop 3000 is a lightweight, low-performance film that meets the demands of a new generation of movie cynics. A masterclass in how not to make a film, this film is an endurance test disguised as a movie. Directed by someone who's definitely angry at the audience, this film is somehow both overacted and underwritten, like watching paint dry, if the paint also insulted your intelligence. With more holes than plot, it's less of a story and more of a hostage situation. If awkward silence were a movie, this would be it. And this is episode number 198, and in this episode, we lost Val Kilmer way too soon. We'll look at his legacy and pay our respects. And then, we visit the cinematic crime scene where everyone involved is guilty, and we'll perform an autopsy on the character of Axel Foley and try to figure out what went wrong with 1994's Beverly Hills Cop 3. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
A lot better than the last time we recorded. I can speak again. My voice sounds normal.
You do sound better.
Absolutely. You sound 100% better.
Ray, how's things down in Wonderworld?
Wonderworld was yesterday. The weather is gorgeous and family's having a great time.
Thank you, Rice, for everything.
One last thing. Who's the better pilot? You or me?
This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it.
Val Kilmer, born in 1959, recently passed away in 2025, which makes him 10 years older than me, which feels like that's not so old. I feel like that's way too young to go.
Especially for somebody that's so high profile and somebody who's made some classic movies, some all-time favorites of mine. I mean, I know all three of us are big fans of the movie Heat, which is probably my favorite Val Kilmer movie.
Remember Jimmy McElwain on the yard used to say, you want to be making moves on the street, have no attachments, allow nothing to be in your life that you cannot walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you spot the heat around the corner. Remember that?
For me, the sun rises and sets with her, man.
Oh, he was fantastic in Heat, and that shootout scene alone is worth the price of admission.
Agreed.
But for me, man, it's hard to get past Doc Holliday and Tombstone.
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Even the Doors, he was fantastic as Morrison.
Yes, he is good in that movie. And another one I'd throw out there, and it's not as well known, but it's one of his final roles, is a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Harry, what are you doing?
Well, what I'm doing, for the guy who likes to bluff, is I'm playing a little game called Am I Bluffing? Huh? Where is she? Where the fuck is Harmony?
Harry.
You want to play hardball? I can do that. Where is the girl?
What did you just do?
I put in one bullet, didn't I?
You put a live round in that gun.
Oh, yeah. There was like an 8% chance. Wasn't it just 8?
8?
Yeah.
Who taught you math?
I would definitely check that one out. It's a Shane Black movie. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely highly recommend. Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. play bickering hitmen, and it's quite good.
I kind of can't believe I've never actually seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, because I mean, it's the kind of movie that you would think be right up my alley, and I just for some reason just never got around to it. But I think I will definitely check it out just for Val Kilmer. He's really, talk about a guy who's been around for a long time and has done some pretty incredible things. And to your point, to both of your points, he really does some iconic roles. I mean, this guy's been Doc Holliday, he's been Jim Morrison, he's been Batman. I mean, he's really kind of done the gambit. I was sort of looking back at his IMDb listings, and I was kind of shocked. Top Secret was his very first movie.
Nick, I want to explain.
What's there to explain?
But I just want to say that... I'm not the first guy who fell in love with a girl he met in a restaurant who then turned out to be the daughter of a kidnapped scientist, only to lose her to a childhood lover who she'd last seen on a deserted island and who turned out 15 years later to be the leader of the French underground.
I know. It all sounds like some bad movie.
That's his literal first anything. Yeah, I mean, usually any actor, you can probably find 27 different like TV roles, background characters before you see something that you recognize. But yeah, Top Secret was his first gig, and that kind of blew my mind. And it was
That's
the
crazy.
next year after that, he was doing Real Genius.
No, seriously, listen, if there's ever anything I can do for you, or more to the point, to you, you let me know, okay?
Can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?
Not right now.
A girl's got to have her standards.
Which to me is like kind of a classic.
It is, absolutely. And that's what I was going to say too. Like, he just had such range from like comedies, serious roles, dramas, almost like documentary style stuff. I mean, he's just been all over the place and phenomenal actor.
And I mean, one of the obvious ones that we haven't said yet was Top Gun. I mean, obviously he was Iceman in Top Gun, and
You guys really are cowboys.
What's your problem, Kazansky? You're everyone's problem. That's because every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe. I don't like you because you're dangerous.
That's right. Ice, man. I am dangerous.
Yeah,
And I'm so happy that they included him in Maverick. Just with everything going on with the cancer and all, they worked it into the script so that he could make an appearance and work that in there so that he could have a role within there, and that was great too.
It was a really good send-off for Val Kilmer and for Iceman, and I know we've spoken about covering the Top Gun movies on this podcast. I think we have to bump them up in the queue a little bit now that Iceman is no longer with us. I think that definitely warrants an examination of the Top Gun films. Plus, they're just so much fun to watch.
Hello, my name's Axel Foley. I'm looking for...
Hello. Welcome to the Beverly Hills Police Department. To continue this message in English, press 1 pound. If you have homeless people on your lawn, press 2 star.
So what brings you to California, Axel? Vacation?
I'm looking for a killer.
After a failed attempt to bust a team of car thieves in a Detroit chop shop, Axel Foley returns to sunny Beverly Hills to track down a dangerous gang of killers. Before long, Axel sniffs out the criminals' hideout with the help of his old friend Billy Rosewood. As the investigation leads them to the bustling Wonder World theme park, Axel has to convince the authorities that the park's impeccable chief of security is the mastermind behind the sinister operation. Written by Stephen E. D'Souza, based on characters created by Danilo Bach and Daniel Petrie Jr., directed by John Landis, 1994's Beverly Hills Cop 3. Where do we begin?
What's so sad is this movie should work. For the third time, we've got a new director for the Beverly Hills Cop series, and it's John Landis. And John Landis and Eddie Murphy caught lightning in a bottle twice. They made magic twice with Trading Places and Coming to America. And then we wind up here.
Yeah. Raymond, we postponed recording this podcast so that you could be in sunny Wonder World as we recorded. What's your thoughts on Beverly Hills Cop 3?
Man, I am in Florida. I was just at that amusement park yesterday, and man, I don't know. Like you said, the first two were so good. I feel like this movie should be better, but it's not. It's so cookie cutter, copy and paste from the last sequel. Boss gets shot, friend gets shot. Let's go. Oh, now his Inspector Todd gets shot. Now he's got to go back to why LA? It's always LA. Nobody comes from Wichita or somewhere else. It's always somebody from LA coming to Detroit to fuck with somebody that Axel Foley knows. It's dumb. It's just over and over. It's repetitive. It does have its moments, but I don't think it's enough to get past the fact that we've seen it twice already, and it's just the same thing over and over and over.
I'll be very curious to know what you think its moments are, because as far as I'm concerned, this thing this was a moral atrocity. This was offensive on so many levels.
Jesus, Jim.
I saw this in the movie theater. When I heard they were doing a Beverly Hills Cop 3, I was all set. Opening night, I'm there. I'm not, I'm excited for the return of Axel Foley. I swear to you, I was so close to leaving in the middle of this movie. I almost walked out. It was honestly, I think I only stayed because it was just a curiosity at that point. I have to see what mess this is. What are they doing here? And I wanted to be able to talk about it afterwards, I guess. But honestly, I was really ready to walk out. It was that bad.
I wouldn't blame you if you did. And I hadn't watched this movie at a good 20 years because it always had the reputation of being the bad one. So I kind of went into this not remembering much about it and thinking, how bad could it really be? It's John Landis directing Eddie Murphy. And, right off the bat, everything is different. The tone is completely different. It's not as quick-witted. Sometimes they try and go dark, but sometimes they try and go really family-friendly. So I'm not sure who the intended audience for this movie is.
Right.
Is it supposed to be goofy? Is it supposed to be a cop drama? Is it supposed to be an action film? The first Beverly Hills Cop, we sang its praises because it had a lot of heart, and it was a really good action comedy with like some charm. And Axel was a charming character that we grew to love. The second one is an action flick with shootouts and heists and just like shoot 'em up, blow 'em up action. This one is neither of those things. It doesn't have the adrenaline of the second one or the heart of the first one. It's just like a weird mishmash.
Yeah.
But it has Okie Dokie.
It does have Okie Dokie. And at this point, I thought Axel was supposed to be a maturing veteran cop. and now here he is.
Now he's dressed as a big stuffed elephant.
Right.
Oh my good.
Who are they making this movie for?
I completely agree. The entire tone of this film is so weird. It is the weirdest. Honestly, to your point earlier, I'm looking at this and saying, obviously he was not the right guy for this. Incidentally, if you've ever heard the legends of how him and Eddie Murphy just hated each other's guts and somehow managed to sort of patch things up long enough to make this movie, but who knows if there was still some tension there. Honestly, I don't know. I literally watched this movie and I'm going, who first off, has anyone on this project even seen a Beverly Hills Cop movie before? like right. To your point, the opening is so weird. It opens up cold, usually they open up with some punch, some flair, the music, the sound, the soundtrack kicks in. Here they open totally cold and you're thinking, oh, okay, they're going to try to do a little more of a serious, cop movie. It's not going to be fun like the others. Then they cut to Axel's outside talking to the guys. All right, are we good to go? Yeah, I called off SWAT. Okay, we're going to go in. They cut to the inside and these weird guys in the chop shop guys are dancing to this this music. And you're sitting there going, and it's like, and the camera like holds on this for a while, like they're dancing for the camera, and it's like, right. What the hell is happening already? Like already something is really off. Like remember, like when the first time you saw Temple of Doom, and it kind of threw you for a little curveball when Willie Scott comes out singing, and the camera sort of pans into the dancers, and you're kind of like going. Like you're not in the movie where you're in the club watching they're performing for the camera, so it almost breaks the fourth wall, and it kind of sort of throws you for a second. This part was almost doing the same thing for me, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like are these bad guys? Is this what is this? And then And every shot, I swear to you, like, again, I'm looking at this going like, did John Landis do this, or did he let like one of his kids do this? Because all of the cinematography is so weird. They do all of these weird, usually when people complain about like boring conversations, it's usually like, camera A, camera B, like over the right shoulder, over the left shoulder, and they go back and forth.
Shot, reverse shot.
Yes, exactly. This one, there were so many scenes where people were just looking straight at the camera. Like there's a shot where like they open up the doors of the truck, then they close it again, and the two guys turn around and they're just kind of looking at the camera, like just duh. Like I mean, it was the most weirdest, most boring shots of like that you could have come up with. It was really weird. So yeah, and then there's the chief gets shot. Then there's a car chase, and it's a slow, kind of boring car chase, and the music in the background is you could barely hear it. Like there's something playing in the background, but it's not at all, like the neutron dance blasting, a fun scene.
Right.
It's nothing like that. It's just kind of like you can't even tell what's like. Again, what like these people are like amateurs who are making this. It's the weirdest thing.
The whole movie
even the
was
music,
just bizarre.
Yeah, you brought up the music. The music in this movie sounds cheap. It doesn't sound as lush as the music, the Harold Faltermeyer music from the first two films.
Yes. Honestly, it was to the point where I actually started to wonder, probably about the halfway mark, if something happened where they didn't have the rights to that tune anymore. I was wondering if that, but then later I started to hear the actual Axel theme, and I was like, oh wait, no, there it is. But why haven't they used it yet? Like, what? Like, why was it used so sparingly? I felt like they used it more toward the end of the film, but in all the major beats in the beginning, like you barely heard it at all. So, and my theory, I do have a theory on that. This is kind of getting back to, we've been sort of talking as we've been doing these movies, we've been sort of following the career of Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
The early days of like Trading Places and 48 Hours. And then he's kind of hitting his stride with like Beverly Hills Cop 2 and Coming to America. Now he's kind of, he's kind of gone over the top of the roller coaster a little bit. Now he's starting to kind of go down a little bit. And I remember around this time, this was the era of Eddie Murphy's Entourage. Like, I don't know if you guys even remember this, but like around this time, they had done the 15-year reunion or the 15-year SNL 15th anniversary show, right? And all of the SNL alumni from the early days all the way through to like John Lovitz and the guys who, look like in the 80s and stuff. And the only person who didn't show up, well, actually, Bill Murray didn't show up, but other than him, Eddie Murphy didn't show up. And in his place, they literally announced Eddie Murphy's Entourage will be here. And it was really weird. It was like just this bunch of guys who kind of all looked like Eddie Murphy standing around in tuxes, just posing. Like some of them had sunglasses on, some didn't. And it was just weird. But I think Eddie Murphy was sort of surrounding himself with it was kind of like in the days where he's surrounding himself with all the people kind of leeching onto him and stuff. I have a hunch that he let one of his friends do the music for this, because it's terrible. It's really terrible. Like it's oddly bad.
It's very bad.
Yeah,
there are no big jam sessions like the first two movies. It's just it not inspiring in the least.
We are getting into the zany, quote unquote, family friendly phase of Eddie Murphy's career now. Like he's so far removed from Raw and Delirious. This is Pluto Nash Eddie Murphy. I feel like I'm watching Daddy Daycare at certain times when I'm watching this movie, as opposed to like a wise ass, street smart undercover cop. It's Daddy Daycare.
Daddy Daycare with a couple F-bombs thrown in there.
Right. And that's
exactly
my point
right. Yes.
About why this movie doesn't work. It should be one or the other. It should be a rated R action comedy with gunfights and F-bombs, or it could be the zany Pluto Nash Daddy Daycare movie. But this one's trying to be both at the same time, and it's really, really strange.
Yes, completely. Yeah, I tell you, and to my point earlier, honestly, I I feel like the people making this film have never seen an Axel Foley movie. The scene where, well, first off, I mean, there's so many scenes. It's almost like I can't even stop to talk about every single one because they're all just so bad. I can't stand the scene where he shows up at Billy's office and it's like, knock, knock. He nobody's coming in. Knock, knock. Come in. Nobody's there. He turns the blinds for some reason, and there's Eddie Murphy making swishing his face on the glass. And he just yells, "Yeah!" Like, guys, you have to write something. You know, you can write something that's interesting. Write dialogue. You know, this is terrible. But after that, he goes to Wonderworld, right? He goes to the gate, and he says, "I have an appointment." "Oh, we don't have an appointment for you." "I have an appointment." And like this Karen, he's just whining, yeah, I had an appointment. I have an appointment. Somebody's supposed to make me an appointment, and I don't have an appointment. I was supposed to. And I'm going, really? Really? Are you kidding? Axel flipping Foley needs to get in somewhere, can't think of a way to sneak himself in or play a part or do a funny thing. No, he's just going to stand there and pout and throw a tantrum that somebody didn't get his appointment straight or whatever. I'm like, you have to, this is like, if there's a polar opposite to what Axel Foley would do, this is it.
Yeah, he should be pulling a Ramon.
Yes.
Right. At least.
This is
he was a journalist for Rolling Stone.
That's right.
This is the one thing. There should be a poop floating in the pool. This is the one thing he does.
That is like the Axel Foley trademark. I've used the word,
literally,
which is my own made up word, but it's the bullshittery. There's none of that here, and I miss it. I really miss it.
That's like Indiana Jones coming up to a ravine and seeing something up in the air and going, "Gee, how will I ever get across? I guess I can't do it," and just going home. It was bonkers. I could not believe it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, but I mean, honest, and I don't even know where else to go with this because I mean, just every single solitary frame of this film is just wrong. Honestly, I feel like every shot, the gags in it, they're so just cheesy and stupid and bad. You know what I mean? Like every kind of yuck in this film, it's not funny. Like there's not, I don't think I laughed one time. The action scenes are awful. I mean, really awful. I mean, it, and weirdly bad. Again, the cameras are always in the wrong place. That one's the one scene where, and again, I almost feel like the only reason this movie takes place in a fun park is because Eddie Murphy wanted to do that scene where the ride goes crazy and he jumps from car to rescue the kids or whatever.
Yeah, but that scene is terrible.
It's awful. It's so bad. I mean, and again, everything about it is so wrong. I mean, it's first off, again, the music is terrible, right? I mean, the music is noticeably terrible. But then, like, he jumps out and starts jumping on to the next things or whatever. And it's like, there's probably one reasonably good shot in the entire thing is when he kind of jumps and he kind of just sort of catches it the last second. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, there's an interesting shot. You know, like that was okay. You know what I mean? But the rest of it was ridiculous. And honestly, there's a scene where he's standing on top of one of the cars, right? And then all of a sudden, like, they keep cutting back on. This is so like Keystone Cops. They keep cutting back to the controls and the gears going crazy and stuff, and it's like, oh my god, this is so on the nose. But there's a shot where the things get jammed, so everything stops and the cars like rock back and forth, and I'm waiting for them to cut to a shot of Axel standing on top going, whoa, you know what I mean? Trying to catch his balance. Like he almost, they don't do that. He's just, they just cut to him standing there, and then every time he does something, they cut down to the crowd below. Right. And any movie kind of knows enough when you're going to do that, you have to get like the shots of people, the hands going up to the mouth. Right. Oh my goodness. The hands are going up and they're like, oh, they're grabbing their head. Oh my goodness. No, they're just standing there stone faced looking up. It's the weirdest looking, again, the camera looking into people's faces. So they're just looking into the camera, look like, with the mouths kind of hanging out. It's so dumb. Every choice in this is so bad. I really cannot believe John Landis made this movie.
Well,
I mean,
and it looks so cheap, that scene. I mean, it is so clearly shot in front of a blue screen
yes.
that the note that I wrote down while I'm watching this is he's trying to like hang on for dear life and not doing a convincing job that his life is in peril. The note that I wrote down was Superman 4. That's what it looks like.
Right.
Like it looks that cheap and like that batshit poorly made. Like it just like have these people ever made a film before?
Right. That's a perfect comparison. This is the Superman 4 of this series. It is just that bad. I mean, every weird decision that happens in it is so bizarre. Like I mean, even from like scenes when he goes into the fun park and he sneaks into like the underground where all the controls and the workers are and stuff. Like at one point when he just walks into that room where it says like Alien World or something or other to meet, just so he can meet the girl, and she just like, oh hey, what's up? Hello, random guy who just walked into the control room and like, and I don't even flinch that this happened, whatever. Like, how weird is that? Then they show like the Cylons from Battlestar Galactica. Like, this is how cheap. Again, this I wonder what the budget for this movie was, because it really does stink of the budget. Just it had to be like like 20% of what the original two were. Because everything just looks so cheap. But she hits the button and the Cylon comes walking out, which is obviously a guy in a costume. But they're trying to make this seem like it's a robot, like a literal robot. I'm like, God, like what the heck is going on? This is not a science fiction movie. Like, are you kidding me?
And on top of all that, the storyline itself, I feel like they had a bunch of ideas to make a third movie. They had Inspector Todd getting shot. Axel's going to get revenge. They had the car theft ring. He's going to solve that. Now all of a sudden there's counterfeiting. Like, how many different things is he going to go after? Just pick one and stick with it. Like the first movie, his friend gets shot. He goes to, investigate it, figure out who did it, uncovers the bearer bond scheme. And then in the second one, it was the heist. That was the main thing. This has like 4 or 5 different things going on all at the same time to try and make somewhat of a cohesive storyline. And it just doesn't work. You're just being pulled in every which direction.
Let's talk about that, because the movie does need an inciting incident, and Inspector Todd getting shot is a good one. This is a character that we've seen in 1 and 2, and I mean, it's Eddie's or Axel's long-suffering boss. It's a character we like. I know this relationship well. It's been established over the course of the first 2 films, so it's a great idea. And then they just drop the ball. I mean, the next scene when they move to his funeral, the tone is all wrong. They're playing it for laughs, and then John Landis gives us the Coming to America, She's Your Queen song at this guy's funeral. Like, are we supposed to think this is funny? Like,
right.
Come on. And then it's almost immediately forgotten by the time he gets out to LA. At no point is he like, I'm here to find my inspector's killer.
Is for my boss.
It's completely dropped midway through the film, and that really should have been the thing that pushed him. Just like in the first film, Mikey gets shot and he uncovers this drug smuggling for bearer bonds ring. In the second one, Bogomil gets shot and he uncovers this heist ring. It could have gone that way with this, and it completely falls apart.
Yeah.
But they still did the same thing they did in the second movie, where it's, somebody he respects and looks up to, another fellow cop gets shot. Like, you can't think of someone. Why is it always somebody getting shot, somebody getting killed? Like, you can't just make a new storyline. Maybe he's on vacation in Wonder World, or while
at least I like this guy, and I know this relationship, and I buy into Axel wanting to find his inspector's killer.
Agreed.
So why doesn't he? Why doesn't he want to find his inspector's killer? He stops caring about that midway through the film. Why?
Well, I mean, like, if you notice, Axel breaks character constantly. Now, when I say break character, I mean, like, Eddie Murphy obviously wanted to play this as like a tougher cop at some point. You know what I mean?
That's
so
fine.
There's these moments, right? There's these moments where he keeps just losing his shit, going, that mother effer, oh, I'm gonna kill him, oh, I'm gonna like he just loses his mind, right? they're doing that because that's why they had to kill the police chief in the beginning, is so he would have this motivation to act like this, but it's so in contrast to the rest of the movie. It just doesn't, it's so weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's so, like, again, pick a tone and go with it. You can't, they're trying, like, to your point, they're trying to, and this is like potpourri of just all kinds of different ideas that they thought of that don't go together. I mean, what does any of that have to do with being at Disneyland, for crying out loud?
Right.
I mean, for the love of God, when the first, when they show up at the chop shop and they walk in with these briefcases and they open the briefcases to take out the machine guns to gun everyone down, because of course that's what you have to do. You can't just steal it and run out. You have to, you have to murder everyone in the room. But they literally open the briefcases with these towels on it that have the logo. They say Wonder World on the towels.
Right.
Like, are you, like, again, who's writing this? Who would do that? Like, it was the stupidest thing in the world.
And
obviously you don't remember 1994, Joe.
That's true. I can understand if Eddie Murphy wants to play Axel as a more mature cop in a darker movie, that's fine. But it should be the tone of Beverly Hills Cop 2. It should be a shoot 'em up action film at that, a hard R, not a sometimes family friendly goofy comedy with him walking around in the okie dokie costume. Like, come on, pick a lane, movie. Pick a lane.
Right. Don't choose Romper Room as your setting if you're gonna make a hard-boiled cop movie. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Honestly, but I feel like my complaints even sort of go beyond that, where it's not, like, again, all of those choices are stupid, but it's even the things within the context of the film that just do not work. I mean, like, seriously, there's like a shootout. Somebody starts shooting at him while he's in the tunnels walking around, right? Mm-hmm. This is like your office. Like imagine, like, somebody, even if your boss is dirty, is he just going to start shooting people around the office? Like, no, he's like, he would try to quietly get this guy out of here and do something, whatever. But then later they do that bit where, like, when they showed the tape, oh, it's edited to look like he was just shooting people for no reason, and we're like, what? Why?
So maybe you guys can point this or help me out with this one. So Billy gets promoted to that crazy position.
Yep.
Taggart's just gone. I mean, and that was the duo that worked so well with Axel. And then they throw in John Flint, Billy's new partner in the agency that he works in now for the police. But I miss Taggart. He was great as the partner. He was funny. It was kind of cool. But it's just like that dynamic that Billy and Taggart had together. And I just missed that part of it too.
Well, the Flint part is so obviously written to be Taggart. And John Ashton just knew better to stay away from this piece of garbage.
Seriously.
And I like the actor who plays Flint, but it's not the same. Like, you don't have that bickering old married couple that we loved so much in the first two films. But it's really clear that character was supposed to be Taggart.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think he would have had a bigger part had it been Taggart. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's right. He felt so wedged in there, and it was so stupid because of how they did it, because it's not Taggart and this other guy, and they purposely show him kind of hanging around with the baddies. The whole movie, you can't tell if he's a good guy or a bad guy.
Right.
And I feel like in other movies that would be a good thing. There'd be a sort of a payoff. You don't know who, but it doesn't. It's just piss poor writing in this one. It's just not written well.
There are not many good third installments, but Last Crusade, Return of the Jedi, Godfather 3, Back to the Future 3 all wipe their ass with this movie.
One, please. We got some evidence that points to Wonder World.
Thank you.
Thank you. You mean Rufus Rabbit has gone berserko?
You got yourself in the middle of a federal investigation.
That guy killed a police officer. He killed a friend of mine.
You just keep him out of my face and out of my park. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a tremendous surprise for Mr. DeWall to have me standing right next to him right now. You know, right now I can feel his body tingling.
Bring that man down.
Ray, you said there were some highlights, so I'm dying to hear these highlights.
Oh, the highlights? I'll give you the highlights. All right. So you were just saying that the third film in a trilogy is usually kind of weak, right? But the person that has the best comeback a third time is Surge. Surge has his own business now. He has the Survival Boutique. He has the Annihilator 2000 keychain flash grenades. Come on,
Ray,
that's pretty awesome. You got to give it to Surge.
Ray, you were gonna make me cry.
You make me sad.
I swear. You were adding gray hairs into my beard every time we do a podcast together.
Well, there's no energy to Surge's shtick.
No,
this
there's
time around.
nothing. It's pretty fucking terrible. It sounds like improv gone wrong. Like where they're just kind of looking at each other. It's like, I want to give you this keychain. Yeah, you push the button. Let's say you're getting carjacked. Yeah, so you want to separate your car keys from your home keys, and then it cuts back to Billy and Axel, and they're like, and then it cuts back to him. He's like, yeah, so da 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 da, and then it cuts back to him. It was just shit. But the commercial for the Annihilator 2000, that was the highlight of the film for me.
You know, I will say about
American flag bikinis and explosions. Come on, what's not to love?
I will say that I almost felt that the commercial was probably like somebody in the very late stages of this film was like, you know, these movies usually have like sexy girls in it and explosions. Maybe we should, and they kind of wedge that in there just for the sake of something. I don't expect hardcore realism in my comedy cop movies, but you're telling me that Surge, the guy who worked in an art gallery, now is going to have a gun store, weapons store.
It's not a gun store, weapons store. It's a survival boutique.
It's actually a kiosk in the hotel, which is even worse. Like honestly,
Joe, you don't follow the 3 Ps, do you? Prestige, protection, and pretty.
That was so bad. Honestly, I'm thinking of all the people I remember, you know, I remember saying in Beverly Hills Cop in the first one, I think when I was trying to come up with something that was a flaw in it, and I said it's too successful for its own good. So you're going to see things from this movie that popping up in future installments and they don't work. This, oh my God, putting Surge in this was the stupidest thing. I mean, in a movie that is just a pile of stupid, that was a stupid that floated to the top. I was like, it was so dumb. And honestly, and again, like I said, I don't understand when okay, he has the Annihilator 3000 with the TV and the microwave in it or whatever. I'm going again. Who's writing this? Like the Three Stooges? Like
yes,
is I'm waiting for Gallagher to come out and like smash a watermelon. Like what is going on?
But you need that. You needed all that stupid shit to get away with the joke at the end when he's raiding Waterworld with the Annihilator 2000, and he goes to shoot the guys, and it plays or shoots a net that falls short. And then he ducks down to reload and then pops out and it plays NWA. And then he ducks down and pops up and it's playing some other, you needed that. And that is I'm saving that for the end. I got a big complaint about something over there in that scene. So continue.
Oh, wait. You're gonna pick apart the realism of the gunplay in the movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear this.
Gone is any sort of semblance of firearms handling, like proper gun training. I mean, I remarked on in the first one, Eddie Murphy actually looked pretty proficient with firearms by the time this was coming around. He's shooting his gun up in the air in Disney World, for crying out loud. Like, come on.
Seriously, it went from, you know, Eddie Murphy's got some genuine, knows how to handle a gun, to so when he put the hot pocket in the microwave of the giant gun this time, he actually set it for 5 minutes instead of 3, which clearly is going to overcook the hot pocket.
Clearly.
I almost wonder if this movie was written to be a different kind of Eddie Murphy movie, like Pluto Nash or whatever, and then they just decided to change the character's name to Axel Foley and then shoehorn in Inspector Todd and Billy Rosewood to make it a Beverly Hills Cop and capitalize on that name. Like, because it does not seem like it was written as a Beverly Hills Cop film.
You know what?
You're right.
In a normal world, I would agree with you that very well seems like how this goes. But everything I've heard about it is just Eddie Murphy wanted to come back as things were not doing so good anymore at that point. He had a couple stinkers. So he said, okay, we better finally dust off this Beverly Hills Cop and do another one. And everybody's like, well, what do you got? And somebody said, I've always wanted to do an action movie in a fun park, and I swear that somebody had the idea for that one scene where he has to rescue the kids out of the thing and whatever. And that's basically where this movie comes from. And everything around it is just so dumb. So dumb. Honestly, the crap with the even the stuff with the whole thing is about them counterfeiting, right? I'm like, they're running counterfeit bills off of this printer, that looks like I'm like, I don't think that printer would print out anything resembling a convincing, actual bill, but it just
now you're just nitpicking.
Right, seriously. I mean, I feel like it's like from the big stuff to the little stuff, you name it, it's wrong. Honestly, every single thing. The only thing they got right is he's wearing his Lions jacket. That's literally the beginning and the end of anything to me that resembles a Beverly Hills Cop movie.
It reminds me a little bit of how they tried to make RoboCop 3 the kid-friendly one, and that didn't work either. Like, you can't have it both ways.
Right,
you can't add in little kid characters and zany gag jokes in that universe. Like, it doesn't work in RoboCop, and it doesn't work in Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop has a very tested, tried and true universe. It's about wisecracks and shootouts. Once you move that to Disney World and throw in sight gags and mascot costumes and really, really terrible blue screen special effects, it's no longer Beverly Hills Cop. It's something else.
No, it's I'm dying. I should have looked this up before we started, but I'm dying to know what the budget on this was, because everything about the look of the film makes it look like a made-for-TV movie. Like, this doesn't even look like a cinematic movie. Like, when you look at it, it looks like it was meant to be shown on television. It does not look like a feature film at all.
All the money went to pay Eddie Murphy and Judge Ryan.
Eddie Murphy, yeah. You're not kidding.
I'm not just, I think that's absolutely true. But right, there's nothing else left. It's so weird. There's even, every time I think of something in this movie, there's a scene, we were talking about how they do this bit where Eddie Murphy puts on the costume so he can sneak in and go downstairs. There's a shot of all the other mascots sitting around a table playing cards. Like, they're all on their break and they're playing cards. They're wearing the masks. They don't even take the masks off. Like, it's like, this is what I'm saying. Like, guys, does this movie even take place in the real world? Or like, does the movie know that they're not real cartoon characters? That there's guys in the mask? Right. Why would they be sitting around playing cards wearing the mask? It's so stupid.
Because the villains in this movie are the Three Stooges. I mean, the first one they were legitimately scary, and the second one they might have been over the top caricature, like moose and squirrel type, but they were fun.
Yeah.
In this one, they're just idiots. They really are.
Yeah.
Honestly, even the villain, by the way, the villain in this movie, he's so bland. Like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything else, but he's such a. I mean, what a letdown from the baddies from 1 and 2. This guy's just kind of some rando that you would have known in high school, like he's still got it's just so bad. Everything is so bad. How about the scene where Uncle Dave shows up at Axel's hotel room? And again, talk about getting your tone wrong. Eddie Murphy bursts in, goes, "Freeze, motherfucker!" And this little old man turns around and he's like, obviously you take off in Walt Disney, but like, do you think Walt Disney would really come to your cruddy hotel room just to talk? It's just so weird. And the dialogue is terrible. Eddie Murphy goes, Uncle Dave, Uncle Dave, Uncle Dave. I counted 8 times he said Uncle Dave. 8 times. I'm like, guys, could you please write some dialogue for this movie? It is terrible.
And then they turn around and shoot Walt Disney. We go from a movie about a cop killer to someone who shoots Walt Disney. Like, what is this movie?
Right. I mean, honestly, I feel like every bad mistake you can make in a script was made in this film. It's a typical example, right? The bad guy he's got Axel in front of him. He's got Uncle Dave right there. He's got a gun. He shoots Uncle Dave, but he doesn't shoot Axel, right? Like if you're gonna just shoot, why are you shooting Uncle Dave to frame Axel? Why don't you just shoot Axel? Again, what is happening?
Oh my God!
What the heck is going on? Nothing about it makes sense. Then all of a sudden, like instantaneously on all the televisions, a black man shot Uncle Dave, and then the whole he takes it to the bar, the hoity-toity bar. I mean, and that was the thing too. It was so weird that why is this even called the Beverly Hills Cop movie when this could have been anywhere in California? I mean, it just seems like this whole bit of basically doing Disneyland. It's like, okay, that's California, but that's nothing about that says Beverly Hills to me. So, but then they finally did a shot where he just leaves the hospital. He goes into this swanky hotel to make a phone call, right? And of course, all the hoity-toities are in the hotel. Eddie Murphy's the only black guy within 5 miles of this place, apparently. So of course, when they say on the TV, a black man just shot Uncle Dave, everyone turns around and looks at Eddie Murphy. Guys, really? I mean, every just bad cliche just happens in this stupid movie.
And how many times can Axel Foley get shot in these movies before finally he gets
oh my God, right?
Retirement on disability? I mean, he gets shot in the first one. I forget if he gets shot in the second one, but he gets shot in this movie 3 times. Come on.
Yeah,
give the guy a pension already.
I mean, everyone gets shot in this. I'll tell you, look, it's getting to your point. I can't just sit around picking on every thing in this movie that pops into my brain, but it's like the final shot when they have the shootout, and again, that's such a weird. The finale is he's in one of the rides or whatever, one of these little, tunnel rides or whatever, and now he's having shootouts and the shootouts are boring and it's stupid. Then the main baddie shows up and you can barely even see what happens. For some reason, they kind of scuffle for a second. Somebody shoots and this guy goes down, but you barely see what's going on. It's almost like they didn't shoot it right or something happened. But then when the one cop shows up, well, first he takes out the guy who's the federal guy or something or other.
Mm-hmm.
But then what's his face shows up, the other cop, and then they're just sitting there, and then Billy staggers in, he's shot, right? And he falls over and passes out. And I'm thinking, if this was anybody else in any other situation, everyone would run over and be like, oh my God,
yes,
call the hospital, do something.
Right.
But because it's Billy, it's like, ha ha.
Yeah, it's played for laughs. A cop
Right.
getting shot and passing out is this big gag.
When his boss got shot and passed out, this was this humongous deal. There's Billy. He's staggering in, shot, and he passes out, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's Billy."
Oh, it's so weird. I keep asking myself, what is this movie, and what is its intended audience? Is it supposed to be a slapstick comedy? Or is it supposed to be Beverly Hills Cop? And it can't be both.
Yeah. It's just everything. I mean, honestly, I can't find a frame in this movie that just isn't wrong. I mean, even down to, you mentioned the funeral before, and again, it seemed kind of off. It was almost like this isn't the kind of movie to do that, but we have to play up that this was his boss and they had a connection. Okay, fine. He walks over to the car where the boss's wife is in, right? And they have a little exchange. Now, again, the dialogue is so piss poor written. I'm saying when he does that bit, his last word, that doesn't sound like my, actually he said, you want a coffee break? Yeah, that sounds like my, and I'm like, who is writing this crap? Right? It was so bad. But the thing I kept noticing was the camera's inside the car and Axel's poking his head through a pretty smallish window. And he just looks so stupid. Like it's the most awkward looking shot ever. It's just him poking his head through the window. Again, does anyone on this film understand the concept of cinematography or any kind of camera work at all?
Code red on the spider.
Now hold on tight.
Axel?
Hey. Officers, I want this man arrested.
I'm sure you can explain everything, or maybe you can't explain anything.
You're going back to Detroit.
You've got to turn yourself in, man.
Why is it so hard for y'all to see there's something rotten going on at that park?
Ray, how did you feel about seeing Bishop?
How do I feel about seeing Bishop?
Yeah, Stephen McHattie as the federal agent.
Oh shit, you're right.
No, that's I don't think that's who you think. Are you talking about Bishop from Aliens?
Yeah, isn't that who that is?
Different guy. That's
No.
Bishop from Aliens is Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah,
I thought it was Bishop.
No,
Well,
you're confusing me.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah.
Now I look dumb because I'm like maybe I'm just projecting a movie I would rather see. I thought that was Bishop from Aliens.
No, that's God. What else is he in?
Yeah, he's
He's in a
I
bunch.
did the same thing. Like I'd seen him in things too, but I couldn't remember like
He plays a sheriff in something.
Well, I know
wasn't
he
he
was in The Watchmen. I know
I've
that.
seen him in other stuff. I could have sworn that was Bishop.
Wasn't he the father that's a sheriff in like the Nightmare on Elm Street series?
Maybe.
Are we talking about the same guy? The guy with the little mole,
The
like
guy
little
who was
Caesar
like
haircut, slightly.
The guy who was the Fed who stops Eddie Murphy from chasing the bad guys in the beginning.
Yeah, I guess I'm wrong. It's not the same guy.
Was he in Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street rather?
I honestly don't know. I mean, he does. I can totally see why you would mistake him for that guy, but yeah, no, definitely a different guy.
Well,
edit
that out.
He was Dr. Reston in Seinfeld. he was the shrink that Elaine was dating, and he was the Sven Jolly.
Yes, of course.
Kill him.
You know what's tough about this series is the longer it goes on, the harder it is for them to find reasons to get Axel out to California. And it's always get Axel out to Beverly Hills, and somebody has to tell him, Axel, we play by the book around here. I mean, that is of that's the thing. And you would think after the events of the first two films, the Beverly Hills police would be like, oh, Axel Foley, he actually is a great cop who gets results.
I mean, it's almost to the point where you would almost think like by the third one, maybe we should just say that Axel moved to Beverly Hills. And,
right.
He lives there now.
Right.
Like he's been there enough. He likes it enough. He saves the day enough. So he just decided to stay. That kind of thing. Right. To constantly get him from Detroit over to Beverly Hills doesn't really make any sense. And again,
it doesn't.
Nothing about this film even feels like Beverly Hills to me. Like it feels like Anaheim. Like it's like, yes, it's California, but it's not Beverly Hills.
Yes, two distinct places.
Right. They should call this one Anaheim Cop, All right, gentlemen, let's score this sucker because honestly, I'm running out of bullets in the barrel area in the chamber.
All right, I was actually starting at a 3.7. It's still an action movie. It's still kind of goofy and fun to watch, but the more I listen, I just kept dropping the points down, and everything that I had that I was like, oh well, the opening shootout was halfway decent, and then the more we talked about it. It just dropped and dropped and dropped. I still think it's watchable. It's not a complete flop. So I'm going to stick with a 3.2. If you want an action movie that you don't have to pay that much attention to, Eddie Murphy's got some funny parts. It's not cohesive by any means, but it's still an Eddie Murphy cop movie with some decent action. I'm giving it a 3.2.
Kyle, what do you got?
I'm giving this one a 2. I can't in good conscience recommend anybody watch this movie unless you are an Axel Foley completist and you just want to follow his story. And I love Eddie Murphy. I think he's hilarious. I think he's one of the greatest SNL cast members of all time, if not number one. So he usually makes me laugh. And that's the only thing that makes me give this movie a 2 instead of a 1 is goodwill towards Eddie Murphy. I enjoy him as a movie star, but this is not his best movie.
So Kyle, unlike you, I am gonna give this one a 1. This and the only reason it gets a 1 and not a 0 is because no one drowned any kittens in this one. I think other than that, I find this film to be borderline offensive in the way that people they just destroyed the character of Axel Foley. I mean, literally, again, I don't know who this guy is, but he's very much the polar opposite of what I know Axel Foley to be.
Yes.
Every single solitary thing about if the three of us made a cop movie and it was worse than this, we could make a better movie than this. Honestly,
I'm like almost positive.
I agree. 100% agree.
I mean, honestly, I've never seen anything quite as bad as this. Every single decision about this film is wrong. The director is wrong. The music is wrong. And again, I kind of want to give Eddie Murphy a break a little bit, but honestly, I feel like even as I'm watching him, I'm almost heartbroken because I'm looking at him going, dude, what are you doing? Like, I mean, I know you need a paycheck and you need you're having a run of bad movies and you could use a winner, but you've played this before. You know how this character should be played. So stop the kind of weird thing you're doing here. So everyone here is just doing wrong things, and I just don't get it. I honestly, if someone asked me, if someone I knew had never seen any of the Axel Foley movies, I would tell them watch 1, 2, and the Axel F. movie. Just skip this one entirely and pretend basically the way Ray looks back at 2016. That's how I look at Beverly Hills Cop 3. I was
just going to make that comparison.
It doesn't exist for me. It just doesn't exist. I mean, honestly, what killed me this time around is I actually had to pay $4 to rent this.
Oh no!
Watch it because I have the first one and the second one, and I refused to buy this one. I refused to. When I could have gotten it for free, I said no, thank you. I just want the first two, and that's it. I don't want this thing sullying my collection at all. So yeah, I had to plunk out $4 to watch it. I'm like, oh, that hurt. Honestly, it was so funny as I'm watching this. I'm just the whole time going, oh yeah, I forgot. I mean, I have not seen this since I sat through it in the theater. And I just laughed at this thing. I mean, I guess that's probably the best I could say about this movie is there was times where I was chuckling and laughing, but not with the movie.
This would be a great movie to get a couple of pizzas and get super hammered and watch with your buddies and laugh.
Like a Mystery Science Theater.
Exactly.
Just to rip into it.
Yeah.
All right. So for your consideration, where are we going to go with this one? I always do this wrong. Which one is the first?
It's for your consideration, right? We do the good first, then the bad.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. What do you guys got?
Well, I've got one. Ronnie Cox and Paul Reiser knew well enough to stay away from this movie, so it does not ruin the Bogomil character,
John Ashton,
or John Ashton, or it doesn't ruin Jeffrey. It doesn't ruin the characters that I love from the first two. So, thank you, Ronnie Cox and Paul Reiser, for not being in this film.
Oh my God.
Man.
Ray, what do you got?
Well, for a film that's as bad as the Carousel of Progress, for your consideration.
I like the Carousel of Progress.
For your consideration, somebody finally puts George Lucas in his place, cuts him in line, and gets him to turn around and leave the ride and the amusement park. So, as you were going to point out, George Lucas does have a cameo at the Spider ride, right?
Yeah.
And Axel jumps in front of him and he's talking with his wife and they complain and then he's like, let's get out of here. He turns around and they walk off.
For mine, I will say that this film officially put the nail in the coffin so that we didn't see Axel Foley for another 30 years. It was that bad that no one went near this project for like 30 more years. Although I did hear, I should have done a little research on this, but apparently they did do some sort of a spin-off TV show, I think, that was supposed to be about Axel Foley's son. That was,
I remember that.
I
At least
think it actually
that
got
story.
made. I don't know if it just got shelved, like it got made and just never went anywhere and got put on the shelf. But there actually was something. But yeah, but apparently it just never went anywhere. So they did Axel F as if nothing had ever happened since. So
I never
that's all
saw
I got for
it.
that.
I never saw it, but I heard of it, and I also heard, and this actually does sound interesting, that they were going to make another movie where Axel has to go to London and get involved working with Scotland Yard, and that actually sounds like a better movie than what we just watched.
Oddly, yes. As bad as that sounds,
I would rather have watched that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So weird. Who asked you?
In a movie that we've just absolutely eviscerated, the scene that annoys me the most happens towards the end of the movie, and Axel is talking about his investigation right in front of the suspect, and he's screaming out the details of his investigation and how he's found the counterfeiting money right in front of the guy who's doing it. So he knows exactly what Axel knows and can just turn around and say, all right, everybody, hide the incriminating evidence. This guy Foley knows once he's gone, we can get right back to doing what we were doing. And this is what Foley knows, and this is how to avoid it. That just annoyed the hell out of me.
Was that Gavin Newsom that he was saying it in front of?
Yeah, it looked like Gavin Newsom, didn't it?
Oh my God. Ray, what do you got?
Oh man. So who asked you? So the big shootout towards the end at the park. Axel jumps over the wall, gets his bag with the Annihilator 2000, comes across two armed guards. They pull out their automatic weapons. Foley sticks his foot behind a wooden park bench and flicks it in front of him for cover and ducks down while they unload burst after burst of fully automatic fire on him. And he's sitting there behind it, and it's wood sparks for some reason. And he pulls the gun out, flips it over, starts trying to shoot back, but over and over, I'm watching it. I'm like, a wooden bench is going to take all this abuse. And that just annoyed the piss out of me.
There was actually a lot of that in this movie where people are just standing there and like not even hiding behind something, and people are just spraying them. 3 or 4 guys spraying machine guns and nobody can hit anything. I mean, they weren't even trying in this movie. It was crazy.
And they took turns. They would shoot a bunch of bursts and then stop and wait, and then he'd pop up and they go, "Oh, big gun." And then something stupid would happen. And then he goes, "Oh shit," ducks back down behind a wooden bench. They unload again and wait to see what happens next, over and over. And aside from how stupid that was, it's a fucking wooden bench.
Right.
I couldn't get past that part.
Oh my God. So for my Who Asked You, I was sitting here contemplating, and I was going to say the budget, because I was going to try to blame all of the problems on this film on the budget. I figured, well, that has to be the reason why this entire movie looks like a made-for-TV movie. Like, the production value is just awful. There's shoddy green screen work, all that good stuff. So as I was sitting here, I just asked ChatGPT and said, what were the production budgets for the first 3 Beverly Hills Cop movies? Well, Beverly Hills Cop 1 was approximately $13 million. Beverly Hills Cop 2, the budget was approximately $27 million. The production budget for Beverly Hills Cop 3, estimates vary, with reports ranging from $40 million to $70 million.
Well, they did not spend it on special effects.
So it is not, yeah. I'm guessing
Eddie Murphy cost a lot of money.
You know, he must have had some serious debts he needed paying off, and because yeah, I do not see 1 penny of that on the screen in any way, shape, or form. So there goes that theory. the only thing I can even think of, and again, every single solitary thing in this film is wrong, is bad. If I had to pick one that I'm saying to myself, if they got that right, it could have elevated my enjoyment of the film. It's the music. The music was so dismal. I mean, it was so crappy. I mean, I can't get over what a shit mistake that was. And I'm saying to myself, if they just got Faltermeyer back to do the score one more time and pump out that Axel F theme a little more, it could have made this film just a little bit more watchable for me. But no, everything about this film is wrong, including the music was just the cherry on top. It was just so terrible.
And music is such a big piece of the Beverly Hills Cop movies. I mean, you've got Bob Seger and Glenn Fry and Patti LaBelle and the Pointer Sisters all having songs on the soundtracks to Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Yeah.
None of that is here. It's
like,
terrible.
I mean, seriously, like,
it's
can you
so
think
cheap.
of one? Yeah, I mean, there was not one single song that would, like, I don't think there's a such thing as the Beverly Hills Cop 3 soundtrack. If there is, I don't know what the heck.
I'm
is
not
on
buying it.
Right.
You didn't like you guys didn't like the Wonderworld rendition of the Axel Foley thing?
At that point, they're just dancing on its grave. At that point, I'm like, it was so bad.
There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day.
Buddy, how you doing? Serge, right? I'm like dazzled by your new look. Look at your skin and your hair. And then finally you have black hash poopies, which are totally retro, which I love. You put a really good package together.
Well, gentlemen, I think we finally got this one out of our system, and this one has existed in my body as like some sort of a boil. Like it's
a blood clot that needs to be removed.
Exactly. This clot has been sitting there, and I could not wait to just expel it.
It's
you
like
feel a weight off of your chest and off of your shoulders now.
Yes.
It's like a non-movie. It's an anti-movie.
It really is. Honestly, it really is. Gentlemen, thank you, and I don't even know what the next one we're going to do is. So, but thank you for this exercise and letting things off my chest a little bit. And I guess I'll see you next time.
Now you don't have to ever watch it again.
Oh my God!
Very cathartic.
Thanks for listening to the Reviews Without Remorse podcast with Joe, Kyle, and Ray. Join us here every Thursday for a new episode. You can also find our episodes on our YouTube channel. Check the link in the description. All clips in this podcast are for commentary and critique and are considered fair use. No copyright infringement is intended.